Congressman Darrell Issa opposes this move and is drafting legislation to block and reverse any deal the White House might make. Congressman, thanks for the time. I guess we should probably hedge on that because it isn't any deal. It's just a particular part of this deal you definitely want to see done.
Absolutely. And Senator Cruz on the Senate side has dropped the same legislation. Essentially, what we discovered was at a time when we're asking the world to stop selling and buying from Russia and to sanction them, we're cutting a deal in order to keep this Iran deal going. We're cutting a deal that allowed $10 billion down payment to go from Iran to Russia. In other words, we literally are giving aid and comfort to this murdering thug, Vladimir Putin, and we're using, of all the countries, Iran to do it. Now, remember, this deal is being brokered by the Russians and on behalf of Iran and the United States, and we're supposed to trust the Russians that they're going to take the fissile material out. They're going to be part of this new deal. The reality is, we know that Putin can't be trusted. We know that all the way back to 1979, when I was a first lieutenant, when they took our embassy and said it was just kids, it wasn't the government. They have lied. They have lied as a matter of doing business. So we have two countries who lie, who are conspiring together. We're allowing a down payment alone of $10 billion to flow to Russia at a time when Russia is murdering its neighbor.
Right. With all that's going on now.
I disagree with this deal. And that's before I even get to the fact that they are an existential threat to Israel and would threaten the rest of their neighbors if they get a nuclear weapon.
Well, we've seen, just the threat of that and what it can mean while we're dealing with Russia and Putin here, and what it could result in if he does decide to move on. I'm wondering what your plan would do differently than what we have on the table right now. What is it? You want to make sure Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon, correct?
Iran needs to be sanctioned both for everything and anything that they can use, including money, to build a nuclear weapon. But we also, at a minimum, have to pile on to stopping their ballistic missile program. Remember, under the Obama-Biden administration, they cut what was called the JCPOA. Right. They no more than handed that $145 billion to Iran. Then Iran began putting into high gear the production and testing of ballistic missiles, which ultimately a nuclear weapon is of no value if you're only blowing up your own city. So they needed the delivery system. They've been working on the delivery system all through this entire period. And until Trump shut down their money supply, they were doing it with impunity during the Obama years.
Let's get you quickly. I'm sure you listened in on the first two segments, Congressman, about what's happening in Ukraine. I'm sure you want to weigh in on where that stands right now.
Well, I talked to one of my former colleagues this morning, Duncan Hunter, who is on the Polish-Ukrainian border and working to get a lot of these gifted supplies in addition, which includes flak jackets and so on, which is over and above the military coming from countries. And what he's hearing and seeing is Ukrainians and some Poles who are willing to join as Ukrainians going into the Ukraine as we speak. That is showing you the determination of these former satellites. And I think it's very important to see on the ground in Poland their support, not just at a government level, but at a personal level for the Ukrainian colleagues that are just on the other side of the border. Remember that Poland and Ukraine have a much closer relationship going back for 1,000 years than Russia dominance. Russia took over these countries as part of their expansion as an imperial power. Right. But Poles and Ukrainians have been one people in many ways for decades.
Hey, Congressman, on the way out, I just have 10 seconds left. You heard Ambassador Volker say he thinks Ukraine can hold on. Colonel Davis had a little different idea, depending on what happens in the Donbass region. Where are you on that?
They can hold on if we give them enough weapons. The use of hypersonics actually shows you how desperate Putin is. His strategy was to use artillery, conventional artillery, which is cheap. He's now using very expensive weapons because he doesn't want to continue to have the loss of Russian soldiers' lives because it's been painful. And I'll tell you, having been a soldier for many years, 10% degradation is huge and demoralizing to his troops.
Yeah, I hear they're not even picking up their dead soldiers at this point. That's what we're getting reports from Ukraine. Listen, Congressman Darrell Issa of California, it's great to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Anytime.
Big thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.